This is our first Scribble Spotlight of 2021. Our February Scribble Spotlight is based in the Crawford Art Gallery in Cork. At the moment the gallery is closed, but we filmed this before Christmas last year. We want to give you a quick tour of all the wonderful pieces in this gallery, both in the permanent collection and in the temporary exhibitions that we visited. Even though you can't visit the gallery at the moment, we look forward to a day that we can bring you on a Scribble trip to see these incredible artworks. For now, please enjoy our February Scribble Spotlight that will bring you on a virtual tour with us all around the gallery.
To begin our trip, we start with the Sculpture Gallery. The iconic Canova casts housed in the Crawford found their way here via a very intriguing and circuitous route. The collection includes beautiful reproductions of classical sculptures from antiquity, such as the regal Apollo Belvedere and dramatic Laocoon and his sons, sharing the space with more sculptures by Irish artists, such as the Drunken Faun by John Hogan. Bathed in sunlight, the Sculpture Gallery recently changed from red to this brilliant and refreshing blue. The Sculpture Gallery has a long tradition of artists coming in to study and draw from the casts, and they really are some of the best subjects for observational drawing, because these models will pose perfectly still in their dramatic, frozen motions for as long as you need them to.
The temporary exhibition that was there when we visited was called Citizen Nowhere, Citizen Somewhere, The Imagined Nation. In relation to our November Scribble Spotlight, which we looked at art boxes around Cork City, we found one with a quote by Terence McSweeney. It is not those who inflict the most, but those who suffer the most who prevail. Here you can see a plaster bust of the Lord Mayor of Cork, Terence McSweeney, created by Seamus Murphy in 1963. There's a video on display here too by the artist Willie Doherty, titled Non-Specific Threat. The artist has said that it's based on how we project our fears and anxieties onto an other. An interesting comparison with the relationship between victim and perpetrator resonates with the exhibition based on Terence McSweeney, who was the victim of an arrest by the British forces at the time, and he passed away after 74 days of a hunger strike. Here is a painting tribute of his funeral by the artist John Lavery in 1920. The depth of detail and emotion in this piece hits quite deep when you're surrounded by images and artefacts from this time, and even a portrait of his grieving wife.
One of our favourite pieces currently on display upstairs as part of the Lucid Abnormalities exhibit, Time Flies by William Gerard Barry, depicts an elderly woman watching 3 children in the garden. It is a beautiful painting with the most sensitive treatment of light, and it calls to mind the bizarre experience of time passing so quickly and yet also so simultaneously slowly, especially during these days in the lockdown. Sometimes when I look at it, I wonder if the woman is actually remembering her own childhood. The figures of the children don't seem to cast the same strong shadows as the trees or the old woman do, confirming my suspicion that they might be metaphorical. Another painting in this exhibit that comments on the surreal and historical circumstances of living in 2021 is the infamous Men of the South by Sean Keating. This painting depicts a unit of flying columns, or guerrilla soldiers from the Irish War of Independence, waiting patiently, stoic, despite the very real threat of danger. This painting represents an Irish legacy of great endurance, a quality that we find ourselves in need of in uncertain times.
The Harry Clark Room has stained glass windows created by the Dublin-born artist and illustrator. The display room is darkened so the art glows in the space. In UCC we're lucky enough to have some Harry Clark stained glass windows in the Holy Chapel. His stained glass work draws a lot from his heavily stylized ink drawings, characterized by his endless subtle details and a slightly gothic treatment of the human figure. The thick, dark outlines are contrasted by intricate line work in the interior glass shapes that assemble the jigsaw-like structure of the windows.
Opposite the Harry Clark windows is an abstract composition by Maine Gillette. It is a curious painting, full of vibrant colour and slow, kaleidoscopic movement, as if it were also backlit like the stained glass windows. When we look at the painting, because of its abstract nature, there is no traditional framework for where to begin. There are no rules about how a painting should be read left to right, or with the primary focus in the foreground and the background being less important, and so on. Instead, here we can enter the painting anywhere, and explore it like a labyrinth that, even without a clear approach to image or perspective, has immense depth and a peculiar emotional literacy. One of our favourite exhibits in the gallery is on the top floor, a cabinet of ceramics by John French. These are delightfully creative and decorated with charming patterns and colours. There's a simple yet profound joy in these ceramic vessels, Some of them don't appear especially practical, indeed some even resemble primitive weapons, but they tease the formal elements of line, shape, and form in the most amusing ways that you can't help but love them.
We hope you enjoyed our little tour of this wonderful gallery. Take care and keep scribbling.